Imagine you are standing up to testify, to talk about your school journey, but also to thank God because it was the end of the year and the next year you were going to graduate college after being stacked up against many odds. And then unfortunately you get publicly rebuked, and then you end up wishing that you never even stood up to testify in the first place. I remember I was graduating 2019 going into 2020, so it was the end of the year. I remember December. I was in service at my old church and people were doing like their end of the year testimonies, like just saying what God has done for them, which is pretty common in a lot of churches. Me being me, it took me a while to get comfortable. It still takes me a while to get comfortable to speak in front of people. My college journey was it was a lot going on. Life was lifing throughout my college journey. And I felt like, I need to stand up and testify because there's other college students there as well, just so that they could also use my testimony to encourage them. I was probably like 21. I decided during the service to stand up and just testify about it. And I'm like, I thank God, yada, 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 talked about my journey. And everybody's like, amen, applauding, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I grew up in this church. So a lot of these people, they were clapping and just thanking God and just, praising God because a lot of them knew me since I was a baby. So it was like, oh my gosh, And a lot of them also knew the stuff that I was going through. After that, I sat down and high-key wish I walked out the door. The spiritual leader of my church decided that this was the time for me to get publicly rebuked. I didn't know where it was going at first when this person started talking, but then it went into like them being upset that I didn't tell them that I was going to graduate the next year. Mind you, I'm very active in the church, worship team, singing, dancing, all of the above. And I'm balancing that, being a college student, very involved also in college, so I have a lot going on. It turned into a bunch of, you grew up here, don't think just because you're graduating like you don't need the prayers anymore, don't forget kind of where you came from. It was very like I needed to be humbled in that moment. It was not the first time like stuff like that happened to me growing up in the church that I grew up in. For context, it's a Haitian church, but as we could see with recent events, it doesn't only happen in one type of church. Just imagine like the people that were literally just like thanking God and like standing up and we're all praising God together about it while I'm testifying. Imagine those same people while the person is talking literally saying amen, amen, and I'm like, what the heck? Wasn't you just the one that was saying was it? Imagine how low I felt in that